So, I guess right off the bat, inspiration. Where I'm going to throw some questions out. Give you guys a chance to ask questions in a moment. So think of some good ones. Just I'll get things going with a couple. Tell us a source of inspiration for the film.
Sure, I'm a gambler. My name's Corey, I'm a gambler. I told this guy a long time ago that I'm going to write a movie one day, and then I did. And I knew I could rely on him to knock it out of the park, and we thought, let's write a movie that we can actually shoot, and a really kind of low-key, low-budget heist movie would be in the works. And when it came to the father-son relationship, I have a great relationship with my father. I cite that often, and I really want to tell a different kind of father-son story. I'm definitely his son. So that's sort of it. Kind of came together.
My son, Cody.
And that was it. It was really, and I just kind of sat down and started writing, and thought of him and what I could give him to really work with.
That's great. And let's talk to some of your wonderful cast about getting involved with the film, and very quick highlight of what the experience was like.
It was fantastic. I love playing conflicted, challenged men who have a heart. So it was fantastic. It always is working with Corey and Jeremy and Art Himbo. Jennifer Dale was a fantastic cast. John Conskin, everybody else there, everybody. But it's great in the fact that it's a Toronto independent feature, and support Canadian film all the way along, and it's so great to have Corey do his first film and have it so well received. So it was a fantastic experience. And the shotguns are always a lot of fun.
We like shotguns at Trunk Shark, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was my first time seeing. I'm Jonathan Conesby, and I played Little Red. This was my first time seeing it, and I was floored by a lot of things that you don't get to see as an actor on the page when you're there on the day. Yeah, the score, color, all of it, was fantastic. Corey, blown away. And I just got brought into it because we played bad guys together before.
You guys are great.
They sell you as a team.
Yeah. It's like buy one bad guy, get one free.
Yeah, I had a great time watching that and being a part of it.
Are we just
Sure, tell us one thing about.
well, I had just such a blast. These guys are a tour whirlwind force, like Corey, the whole team. It was really great. It's my first time seeing it, and what I was saying to Jeremy right before we came up is just I like the humor, and I also love like the warmth of the characters. I really felt like when they came to life on screen, it just felt like it had a lot of dynamic throughout for all the characters. And I like the laughter because I think it's a very poignant, emotional story. The father-son story, the love story, the conflict, the addiction stuff. But there's a lot of really hilarious stuff throughout. We were trying not to laugh too much. Yeah, I just think it's just such an amazing first film, Corey. So it was a pleasure to be part of it.
I was most excited at first when I read the script that someone was going to let me play something that wasn't a mom. So I was like, woo, I'm in! It was really exciting. And then I kind of showed up and I realized I was kind of a bit of a mom. So I was like, crap, that totally didn't work out the way I thought it was going to. But truly, working with Corey, it's blown my mind. This is he wrote, directed, edited, also did the score, produced. I'm not even going to tell you where the money came from. He can tell you that story. I'm excited for this. I want to say kid, but that makes me feel more like a mom. So I'm excited for his future. I'm excited to see what he does next. And I think this is the epitome of Canadian film. It's a bunch of Canadian actors that have stood up here and basically just volunteered their time and said, we want to do this and we want to be a part of this and we want to help you and we want to help your career. And that's what this country is all about. It's like you do things for love and you do things for money, and it's the conflict of an artist. It's so hard to be an artist in this country because you do have to feed people. So you do things for love and you do things for money, and this is pure love. And I feel as a Canadian actor, so many people have given me those favors and had my back and done things for me. And that's what this community is all about. It's about giving back and helping those. So look out for this kid, because he's gonna rock this world.
For me, it was such a pleasure to work with Corey, because when he told me he's going to shoot the film, and he's going to write a film, I knew he would. 2 months later, we were filming. And that never happened in Canada, Hollywood, nowhere. So it was, there was no surprise, but for me, I felt the biggest pressure for me was just to make sure I do a good job for Corey, and I hope I didn't let him down. And working with such an amazing cast, these are actors I grew up watching as a kid. You know, I watched Breaker High, Art Hindle, since I was a little boy. So the whole thing was just a dream come true. Thank you, Corey.
Let's go to the floor. Got some questions? Anybody want to throw some hands up? Over there, go.
Where'd the money come from?
You said that.
I'll make, yeah, thanks, Tara. I'll make a long story really short. If anyone here works for TD Bank, by the way, you didn't hear this from me. So I graduated from medical school last May 2017, and when you get into med school, you can apply for a line of credit because they assume you're going to use that to start your practice and pay your overhead. And I made a movie instead. So.
Not the best story before. I think you just put a bunch of medics on the new career path. Okay, any more questions? Well, it's going to be hard to talk.
Right here,
Over
so
there, go.
fun.
How do you find friends like my friend John Tench and Art Hindle and stuff like that?
Yes, how did you get this amazing cast
So,
together?
I mean, am I still on here? So, I mean, everyone is saying very nice things about me, but this was not a one-man job by any means, or a stretch of imagination. I had two incredible co-producers on this film, Samantha Herman, Michael James Regan is here tonight somewhere, wherever you are, take it back. They were very much instrumental in bringing the cast together, and so it was a lot of connections here and there, sitting together, kind of pooling names, Canadian resources, who we know has done Toronto Indie Productions before, who might be kind of interested in volunteering their time for a project like this. And so really the cast came almost entirely from, with the exception of him, actually, almost entirely from Samantha and Michael. So they were more than just producers, they were excellent casting directors as well.
Got some more questions? Any hands? Or just shout out if you're ready to go. Anybody? I've got a couple I already wanted to ask you about. Some of the themes in the film. Obviously, there's dementia, losing your mind with age. There's addiction. Sorry. There's addiction issues and second chances. Were some of these themes something that you took from people around you, your childhood, or growing up, or just universal themes? Do you want to talk about that?
I think the dementia was definitely a personal one. My grandmother suffered from pretty serious dementia for about 10 years. My other grandmother now is going through it as well, so I kind of knew it firsthand when you go to talk to someone, and then 5 minutes later they ask you the same question. And it's a heartbreaking thing to watch, but in this particular case, applying it to a heist movie, heist movies are great when they have a ticking clock, and in this case the ticking clock is the character's brain. And I thought that would make a really interesting way to look at it, and I could speak to the experience of going through that with my grandmother. Second chances, sort of a redemption story, not so good guys, but not really bad guys either. That all just kind of came from the genre. It was very much, I knew I needed to keep some stuff that people would expect from a movie like this. And then I really wanted to play and because I knew Jeremy would be doing the role, I wanted to play his strength too. And I couldn't write that unlikable a character because he's just that likable of a guy. So we instead tried to play up that kind of, there's something about him that you do like, even though he's doing things that aren't necessarily good.
We got more from the audience. Anybody want to shout one out? Any little scene or moment you want to ask a question about? Oh, over there, go for it.
It's more a comment, and you did this in 2 months.
Maybe the film starts to scratch.
2 months is a bit of exaggeration. The script, the first draft of the script was done in last December, but then we shot this from April 30th through May 15th. The first cut of the film was done about June 25th or so, and then the final cut of the film was done July 27th. So it wasn't 2 months, but it was quite a quick turnaround from production to end of post-production. That was only about 3 months. So it was, we had a really hard-working team who made sure everything's possible. I mean, the only way we could get it done in 12 days was because everyone was so professional, everyone worked so hard. And then our post-production team, although I cut the film into the music, we had an amazing sound design team over here, and our key group on the film was also our colorist, and who's here tonight as well, and did an incredible job. The movie looks great. So everyone pulled their own weight, and it was one of the things. I don't like waiting for things, and neither did any of them, which was great. So they wanted to get it done as fast as we could, but still putting in the time and effort to make sure that it looked and sounded great.
You forgot to mention now that you're also a boy genius and you're amazing. That's not human!
Thank you, Mom.
Obviously, you guys are under a lot of time pressure. Do you want to share a couple of little improvised moments or horror stories or things that kind of didn't quite, were more challenging that you had to work on? Share with the cast.
So, I had this one issue. I showed up, and the plan was that we were going to do the scene with the French fries eating, sitting on the tires. That was going to be in the afternoon. I show up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, well, I think we're going to do that scene first. And I was like, but I was going to eat some French fries. And they were like, well, it's 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday on Mother's Day. Yeah, the one mother on the show, they had shooting on Mother's Day. Oh, good, it's fine. I hate my kids. It's fine. It's good. But anyways, I wanted fries. I was like, we gotta have fries. They were like, well, how are we gonna get fries? Where are you? This is the man up there. He found me some French fries for 8 o'clock in the morning. God bless you. We love you. That's my only story.
Well, I guess one story was the final day was the shooting, right, when we were at the cottage, when we had the whole gun thing between John and I, and we were really fighting for life, right? And we ended up shooting we shot the last shot in the dark, but Corey still somehow made that Corey made it look like daytime somehow. So, again, magician.
I can't think of any horror stories. I know this is a sort of horror convention somewhat. The hand thing was kind of weird because what I liked about it was kind of off screen, like you never see the fingers flying and you never see the blood splatting everywhere. Well, we saw a lot of blood splatter, of course, but that was interesting the way we handled it because it was all in Jeremy's face, and of course, John and I are kind of have this loving relationship with Roxanne, I guess, where we're just we're both so sad that she's dying and we can't really care about this guy. But I think that was my kind of horror moment.
I guess it didn't have a place, but I kissed Jeremy's head after we took the finger off. I really liked that thing. And I guess the other thing was they actually found it's described in the script a bunch as a shitbox car, and you see it especially towards the end of being like punched in on one side of the car when driving on these country roads, and you had to. I mean, it's just one of these things. Yeah, it was an actual shitbox. I think you included the sound of the turning. Yeah. Every time you had to turn a certain way, the tire would be hitting like this indent. That they bought this car on the side of a road, right? But it actually made this horrible sound, but it became very hard to turn. It was really, I don't know, actor might have something to say, but it's dangerous. I like it. It's that kind of film.
Oh, well, I didn't have really anything crazy happen. But I think maybe I was thinking about it, because I was always in a 12-step room. So maybe that was why everything felt like pretty stationary and stable, and I was sort of stabilizing force, so maybe that's why. I just really had a great time, yeah. I might have eaten a donut or two that day. It was such a great experience, that's all I have to say.
The back, go for it. The back, yeah, good.
Seeing as you said that you went to med school, what is your past within film then? Like, have you done this before?
Sure, yeah. I'll do it really quickly because I know it's late. People are going home. My past in film, I started editing when I was around 11 or so with Windows Movie Maker and slideshows and stuff. Even before that, when I was 4 years old, I made a movie with my dad's camcorder and my Batman action figures. So I've always really loved doing this. But editing, I would say, editing was the most important thing I ever did starting with editing, because when you start with something that is what you use to create your final product, you can kind of help reverse engineer that and go back and think about what your starting product should be. So it was just editing, and kids would go to summer camp and I would stay home and edit all summer, and I would do fake movie trailers. I had a moderately successful YouTube channel under a pseudonym that would do these fake superhero trailers and all kinds of stuff. So that's always what I really started with, and then I graduated to short films and a little bit of corporate stuff whenever I had time. But then I kind of had to stop during med school because you can't shoot while you're operating. But I would go home and I would write all the time, so I've got about 5 scripts sort of sitting, collecting digital dust. And that, I think that was kind of the next step after editing, is then going back to writing. And it was really just a hobby, and I would say if anyone here, I'm sure there's some filmmakers here, maybe some burgeoning filmmakers, maybe people who will want to become one. It's so accessible now. Tutorials on YouTube, tutorials online. You can learn. I didn't go to film school, not because I had anything against film school. I went to med school. But that wasn't anything that was a joke. I had to choose one or the other. But you could get a film education online. And I think that outside of that, the very best thing you can do is just watch movies. Just watch movies and try to emulate the ones you like. I ripped off a ton of stuff in this movie. Because why wouldn't I want to make movies that I like? So that's sort of watch movies and try to learn, and I think anyone can do it. You just have to really stick to it.
Sorry for all the film schools we just put out of business. Anyway, we've got time for maybe one more question from the audience over there. Go for it.
As a proud mother, it's nice to be sitting here beside my daughter who also sang in the play. So you're Kate. I really used to play. It was big. I've never seen her so big.
She was amazing, beautiful on screen, and her voice, really.
So it's nice being a mom.
Yes. Applause for all the moms, I think, in the room.
Any more questions? One last one to go for it.
Unless they're standard used words, were there any significance with the 5 words that you chose?
The 5 words. Want to talk about that?
There are some actual doctors in the house, if some are still here, some med school classmates came out. That's actually a real cognitive assessment. It's called Montreal Cognitive Assessment. There are a couple different versions of them, because if you get administered once, you might remember the 5 words and you can kind of cheat. But Face Valid Church Days you read are the actual real words from the real assessment. I thought about changing them. I thought about doing something different with them, but I always loved them. I always just loved how they sounded together. I thought instead of trying to write something to the movie, let's take some stuff in the movie to put them to the words, just because they were already beautiful as it was. And as a student, I had administered that test so many times that I remembered it, and I just thought it would be a nice little mantra to continue throughout the movie, and it didn't need any extra creativity required.
I do think we should thank one of your cast members who can't be here, or congratulate the wonderful Art Hindle for his performance as well. And then just looking for an anecdote working with Art. I'm sure an anecdote what it was like to work with him, or we've had him here at the festival before, and he's certainly a character.
We all met, the 3 of us met for lunch one day, for chili, ironically. And we had a really nice conversation. Art told lots of stories, as he does. His brother's here will attest to that. And the first day on set, I get there, and Art comes out in his gray sweatpants and his long robe, and he walks into the room with the entire crew there. He's like, "Get out of my house!" And then he came to talk to me and explained what he did, and he said it's our job as, you know, people who are actors who are here every day to make everybody else feel comfortable. And that was a really cool lesson for me, for, you know, just talking art every day. He taught me not just how to be an actor, but how to, you know, live on a set and deal with everybody else. And yeah, he was like a father to me. But not my real father. My real father's here, actually. He was in the movie. He was a picture in the movie of his little kid. So thank you, Dad.
Yeah, and I'll just say a brief thing about Art. We're all crushed that he couldn't be here. It just so happened he's shooting tomorrow in North Bay, and he was actively looking for red-eye flights. Unfortunately, the last one left around 9 o'clock. But he's been so excited for everyone to see it. I think he'd be so excited to hear how much people are responding to his performance. We've actually had we've been fortunate enough to have a couple positive reviews go up so far, and all of them are bang on the money when they cite that it could very well be the best work of his career. And I'm not just saying that because I was part of it. I think him and I both talked about that at length. What a culmination of his career. I screened it privately for a few neighbors about a month back, and I think they said it best when the next day they came up to me and they said it was almost like the role was written for him, and he really knocked it out of the park. So hopefully he'll have a chance to attend another screening of it at some point and talk about it himself, because he's magic and he's a gem behind the camera as well.
Do you want to just talk about when the film's getting released?
Sure. So tonight, as you guys know, it was the world premiere, and thank you all so much for being here. As for the release, we've been very fortunate to receive distribution with IndieCan Entertainment, Happy Federgreen, a real force in the Canadian film industry, and a hell of a guy. And we're actually kind of actively now talking about what the release plan is going to be, whether it's going to have maybe like a short 1 week engagement in Toronto theaters, or if we're going to go straight to digital. Those are kind of the conversations we're having right now. And then we have submitted to some other festivals across the country and across the United States, and hopefully we'll be as lucky as we were here. But if not, you guys will get to see the movie again at some point soon, I hope.
Give it up again for everyone from Robbery.